All right, never mind. All right, we'll call the town board meeting for June 1st, 2026 to order. First item on the agenda is the agenda. I gather we're going to add a consent agenda item 5F concerning
Yes.
Comcast Otterview Trail.
Correct, Mr. Chair. Please support. Also, please add a closed session after open time regarding the dispute over the White Bear Lake fire contract.
All right, is that it, Patrick?
That is it from staff.
Does the board have anything?
I have nothing.
Neither do I.
All right, I need a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the amended agenda.
A second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, item 3 is approval of payment of the bills. You signed, Steve?
I signed off, move approval payment of the bills.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. All right. Item number 4, this is approve the prior meeting minutes from May 20th. Anybody have any changes?
I do have a couple of changes. On the consent agenda, when we talked about the funds for the, we were going to apply for the grant for the railroad tracks.
What page do you have?
That was 8. Oh, what page am I on? Oh, you would ask me that. It'll be page 4.
Page 4.
Yeah. 8C. We should clarify something. The grant was basically to relocate, increase safety. There was a lot of things you could do with this grant money that they had. And after discussion with Pat, it was going to cost the township quite a bit of money to pursue this, and we thought it was better to do it through the county. So at the bottom where it says the township clerk is asking for consensus from the board, this is something to pursue. And it says board and consensus, but we didn't say what the consensus was. And I think the consensus is that we were going to allow the county to pursue this, to make those change, to make this happen if it was applicable. The other thing is she also stated that the tracks were in question would have been from Hugo Hard Creek Regional Trail all the way down to downtown White Bear, where Bruce Vento Trail Phase 1 is going to end at 96 and 61. That was what we were talking about doing, not, the safety and all the other thing. We were talking about getting the tracks relocated for the trail. So I think that was the other one. And then the other thing is she mentioned that on Buffalo and 61, there's complaints due to buses having to cross the tracks. No, they're actually sideways across 2 sets of tracks, so nobody can get down south on 61. That was what that was about.
How do you want this changed? I mean, what do you want?
I just thought I'd clarify what it was. And the fact that we should say what the consensus was, that yes, we're in consensus, that we're going to let the county.
Okay.
Those are my 3.
Any issues with those?
No.
And Elle should be able to clarify that. Do it.
All right, that's the only thing you got?
Yep.
All right, hearing that, I need a motion to amend the meeting minutes.
Move to amend the meeting minutes of the May 20th board meeting.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, item 5 is consent agenda. There's 6 of them. Anybody want to pull them? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
I'll second that motion. That included the added item 5F.
Correct. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. All right, moving on to,
If I may, I think we should explain to the audience what purpose of number D, which is ordinance 105. Periodically, the town will recodify all its ordinances to take into account all the amendments that have been done in the past. And it cleans things up, makes the ordinances more understandable and clearer to anyone reading them, wants to rely on them. So it's an important ordinance from the standpoint, it cleans up the existing code, the existing ordinances, so it makes them more understandable.
and it's more of a house cleaning type of a thing?
Yes, it is. It's not, you're not adopting new ordinances, you're simply taking the old ordinances and recodifying them, or actually reorganizing them so they're in the proper spot.
Wasn't done by AI, was it, Chad?
No,
No,
it was not.
it was not.
All right, thanks for clarifying that. All right, moving on. Item 6, old business, the County Road H2 Trail Project. Larry, are you going to handle this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair and Town Board. On May 27th, we received bids for the County Road H2 Trail project, and we received 8 bids on that project from contractors. And if the town board will recall, we broke the bids according to a base bid amount, which is the base project, and then we had 2 alternates included. Alternate 1 was for the digital signage for the crossing, and then alternate 2 was for additional sidewalk on the north side from Prospect to Lakeview, and that also included another digital sign there. So I'll kind of walk through the low bid. The low bid was from Park Construction for a total base bid of $1,198,967.69. And then they had the alternate 1 for the digital signage at the crosswalk at Cottage was $21,091. And the alternate 2 for the sidewalk and the additional digital sign at Lakeview was $57,030. So their total bid with all the alternates are $1,277,098.83. So tonight we're looking to accept those bids. And I should mention there's a tabulation there that shows the breakdown of the bid, and it's entirely. And the low bid or the engineer's estimate for the project was $1,482,000 and change. So fairly good bids, $200,000 under the engineer's estimate in total, and the bids were fairly tight. If you looked at all the bids, the next bidder was $25,000 more than the low bid, and then it was fairly tight in there for most of those other bids. So very competitive bidding for this project. And Park Construction again is the low, and we'd recommend award of Park Construction, either the base bid plus alternate 1, or the base bid with alternate 1 and 2, or base bid with alternate 2. So any one of those options, or if the board decides not to award. So again, we're looking for 3 actions actually tonight. Receiving the bids, 4 actions, sorry. Awarding a contract to Park Construction to the lowest responsible bidder, Park Construction, for either one of those alternates or all of them. Authorizing TKDA to perform construction phase services, and then also to approve the cooperative agreement for Ramsey County for this project. If you recall, Ramsey County is participating in this project. It is a county road, and they're participating with a total sum of $590,000 for the project. And so that cooperative agreement is in your packet as well. That agreement has been reviewed by myself and Chad for the content of the cooperative agreement. So really, we have 4 action items tonight we're looking for the board to consider. Thank you.
Questions, Beth?
No, I don't really have any questions.
I'm the one that wanted the alternative, so I have no more questions as it relates to this, other than discussion about which option to choose. If you're asking at this point, I'll say I still think the low bid for the base project is quite enough. I'm not in favor of extending the sidewalk from Cottage down to Lakeview, because I think it just encourages people to cross at Lakeview versus Cottage, where we really want them to cross. So I like that. Personally, I think having that bituminous that is there removed and put back to grass solves our purpose. Going forward.
Comments on that, Beth?
I guess ideally, my thought would be, I think if we just made the shoulders wider, narrowed up the lanes. I met with some of the residents there, and I have to say, I didn't get a lot of positive response to the project.
Yeah, I suppose it always depends on who you talk to.
I know, but
Residents with children would have a different,
I don't know. I took my dog and I walked up and down the street, so and I did it on several days. So I don't know. I thought I got a cross section. It's a lot of money that we'd be putting up, and I'm not sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck, to be honest with you.
To clarify, though, the money, where is that money coming from?
It is a grant, correct? And then the township would be pulling funds from the park acquisition fund.
so this would not affect our general levy.
It would not.
And also, too, we don't know how long Ramsey County is going to pony up and split this project with us. We could lose that grant,
Sure.
and then we would have to shelf it.
And I believe this project has been in our comprehensive plan over the years.
Yes.
For as long as I can remember.
Yeah, as far as a trail continuation through the township. So it's dedicated funds that can only be used for the purpose of trails or rehabilitation of trails or acquisitions.
Correct. Pretty narrow definition of what those funds can be used for.
And the funds are already sitting there. They do not have to be bonded for or anything else.
No.
And it's,
Well, I guess I agree with you, Steve, on your option of not making the crossing twice, just keeping it in one spot. I think it's less confusing.
yes.
So how does that affect the bid, Larry?
Yeah, so I hear with that option, you're looking at either just awarding the base bid or awarding the base bid plus alternate one.
Okay, why don't you go over alternate one and
Yeah.
the base bid, just so we're all clear.
Yeah, so alternate one is generally the trail that goes on the north side of County Road H2 from Otter Lake Road to Cottage, crosses at Cottage, is then on the south side from Cottage to Bald Eagle, West Bald Eagle.
Does that include a traffic
It includes a general sign.
general sign?
So the alternate one adds a digital sign that flashes when someone wants to cross. It's just an added safety element.
So from my perspective, I would want that digital sign. I'd go with alternate one then, base bid plus alternate one. And that would, base one, with that alternate, would include taking out the stuff between Prospect or from Cottage down to Lakeview.
Yep.
on
And
the
then
north side,
sodding that.
and sodding it. Okay.
You okay with that one, Beth?
Fine.
All right, so then that puts the price at 1.2206789.
Yes.
And they were still lowest bidder, so that doesn't affect the.
Right.
So with that, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to receive the bids, number one, for this project.
Do you want me to second that?
That was a second?
For receiving the bids?
Yes.
Okay, I'll second.
All right, motion's made in second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes.
I'll make a second motion to award the bid to the contractor Park Construction Company for the base bid plus alternate one for a total of $1,220,067.89.
Do I have a second?
Not for me.
I'll second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Me.
We have a nay. Supervisor Artner. All right,
I'll make a third motion to approve the cooperative agreement with Ramsey County for the County Road H2 project.
Do I have a second? I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Again, Supervisor Artner is an A.
And the last item is to approve the services of TKDA for $109,300 for monitoring.
I'll second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
Again, we have a nay for Artner. All right, motion still passes. What's the timing on this, Lair?
Well, they'll kick off here. We're Park Construction, as you know, was also awarded the Anderley project, which is the neighboring project. We're looking at a pre-con for that project next week, and we anticipate a pre-construction meeting probably the week after for this project. There's components of this project that are tied to the Anderley project that need to be done with this project before the Anderley project for some of the storm sewer connections. So in some ways, portions of this project may start before Anderley. So
So this makes it more cohesive to have the same contractor doing them both.
it makes the coordination a lot easier.
Okay.
But that to say, probably within 3 weeks they'd be starting.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing further on that, item 6B is the Park 35 trail modification. Also you, Larry?
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, this is follow-up to the proposal from Endeavor to, what's the word I'm looking for, augment their trail plan, moving it slightly away from the original position of the trail. Chad, did you want to comment on that one at all?
Well, I read the proposed document, and it seems to, my mind, be overkill. Because all you're doing is amending the location of the trail. That's it. All the other terms stay the same. If you compare the restated easement with the original easement, all the terms are identical. So the point is, why not just do an amendment to the existing agreement? Because paragraph 7 or section 7 states that an amendment for the purpose of relocating a trail is allowed, and provides a special provision for that, which simply means the two parties, being the township and the developer, agree to it. So, I mean, the restatement it's not going to damage us. It's just like, it's pointless when we could do this with an amendment.
So there's no encroachment farther into the easement or changing of the easement.
Well, no, that's why they're doing this, because they are changing the location of the trail, which would be changing the location of the easement. That's my understanding.
It could be done by an amendment versus this.
It was just moving it closer to the wall, wasn't it?
I believe that's exactly what's going on, yes, that they're moving
that-
it to
yeah.
the wall.
Well, now,
I'm only saying that, again, my point is this, is that they're not changing any of the terms then relocating the trail, which is, if that's all they're doing, then just do an amendment to the agreement, changing the location of the trail.
So how do we handle this, Chad?
Well, you can adopt this, and there's no big, and I don't see any problem with it. Just, I wish they had approached us, especially me, before they had brought this up.
Because they're already working on it.
Yeah.
So, well, I think the change that they had proposed, I'm sorry, Chad,
Go ahead.
by the developers agreement only required sign off from the city or the township engineer, correct, Larry? I think that's what we decided.
Well, the grant of easement says that it'll be approved by the town
Okay,
and the developer.
sweet.
There's other portions of the trail that are not being amended. That I haven't seen what they're working on lately, but I know they did the portion of the trail south of the south entrance. They've got that ready to pave, and I think they're just working south to north. So
And the reason why, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into the legalistic weeds on this, but normally when you amend an easement, if there's a mortgage in place, the lender has to consent to the amendment. And under the terms of the original easement grant, when it comes to relocation of the trail easement, only the developer and the town need execute that amendment.
Because the map we have on our packet, it doesn't really describe exactly what they're doing. At least I can't decipher it.
I only remember from our last conversation that that's what they had planned to do.
So your recommendation is to approve this at this point?
Well, if,
Not the signature, but working on an amendment, it sounds like. to me,
Yeah.
right?
yes, well, I guess 2 points. What I'm hearing here is you're a little concerned about the new location of the new location of the trail. Or am I misunderstanding?
Well, I was only concerned that it was going farther out of the range. If they're keeping it towards the buildings, then I don't have a problem with it. But if they're jumping the trail outside the original, then it would be more of an issue.
Well, weren't they
But I
keeping-
can't tell at this.
Well, I thought the idea was to keep it closer to the wall. They were going to preserve additional trees because that was an issue with the neighborhood. That was what I was
That was
understanding.
my understanding
Yes.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
th-
think
this
that
is-
correct.
This is kind of readjusting the easement for what we spoke about at one
Yeah.
of the town board meetings, maybe a few times ago, where they were moving that closer to the buildings.
Yeah, and they were
So-
going to, they're going to keep a clump of trees, I think, at that point.
And so from a legal standpoint, I can't tell you where the location of the easement is because it isn't really.
Would you rather have it specified and have them, redo this?
Well,
It sounds like you'd have a comfort level if they would.
Mike, okay. Again, I don't want to create a problem that really doesn't exist per se, but I just, if you look at the restatement, all they're really doing, the only term they're changing is the location of the trail, that's it. I'm simply saying.
And the easement
Well,
that
yeah,
covers the trail.
yeah, well, when I say the location of the trail, I'm talking about the actual legal description of the easement on which the trail is being built. I should be clear about it. Thank you, Larry. So that's all they're doing, is they're changing the legal description of the easement, of the easement where the trail is to be located.
Would you like additional clarification?
No, I don't, not really. I just think they're going about in a way that
It's
is
unnecessary.
unnecessary. But it comes, the net result is we're in the same spot, which is all we're doing is relocating, is redescribing the legal description of the easement area. So the easement area is the trail is actually locations being moved.
So if we ask the applicant to come back with just an amended portion of that, is that going to delay them on trail progress?
It might.
Because they've already delayed this trail by, I don't know how many months. Should have been done by now.
Practically, you're right. I mean, I guess my point being is to the developers, from now on, at least contact staff and legal before you start sending in documents at a late date.
Well, it's not surprising because that's what they've been doing since the beginning of the project.
And that's a good point.
All right, what,
Okay, here's my final word. There's no reason not to sign this, as long as we're comfortable with the new redescription of the location of the easement. And I can't tell if that new description is correct or not. Larry, is it correct?
I can't say that I reviewed it, but it looks, from the depiction I'm seeing on the screen, it looks like it's correct.
all right, so if,
Given the lack of information they're giving us, it's really hard to tell where
Right.
it is. So
so if we were to approve this, we're going to want a consensus that it does meet engineer standards for the
You could
project.
approve it subsequent to engineer approval.
Yes.
yeah, subject to confirmation that the description contained in the restatement matches the new location of the trail.
And at least that we still keep them moving. I don't want to see them
Yep.
stop,
Yeah.
and then it'll get delayed longer, so.
No, because I think we tied in occupancy to having the trail completed.
Which they've already got now,
Yeah, well, to building, that's the building one.
right?
I think we've already agreed to building two, which is moving along also, so.
All right, is that comfortable with the board?
Sure. It's gonna be hard to state this, but I'll move based on the staff review and recommendation, approve the amended and restated trail easement agreement, relating to the Park 35E project, subject to
Conditioned upon the developer providing staff with information adequate to verify that the legal description set forth in the restated agreement matches the intended new location of the trail.
That's exactly what you were gonna say, Steve.
perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I'll
I
second.
don't know why you need me then.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that motion passes.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right, moving on. Public hearings, we have none, so we're on to new business. Improvement and utility revenue bonds. We just need your name and address for the record.
Oh, my address?
He's a consultant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the town board. Chris Hogan from Baker Tilly. I serve the town as their financial municipal advisor. And I'm here tonight to share the results of the town's bond sale that happened earlier today. So the town went out with a bond issue for $4,685,000, their general obligation improvement and utility bond series 2026A. Proceeds of those bonds will be used to finance various street improvement projects, specifically Bloom Addition area and Anderley Lane area, and the related utility improvements, and to pay the cost of issuance of the bonds. The bonds have a repayment term of 10 years, and the bonds will be repaid with a combination of tax levies, assessments, I see those aren't in there, special assessments, and net revenues of the town's water, sanitary, and sewer funds. The bonds have an optional redemption of February 1, 2035, which means at that point they can call the bonds or redeem them or refund them. As of mid-March, when we kind of started getting rolling on the bond sale process, we were showing a market rate, true interest cost of 3.333. Last week, we did estimate based on last week's interest rate environment, and we had a projection of 3.383, and the actual results today had a true interest cost of 3.168. I might note that since we started the process, interest rates have actually gone up significantly in the municipal market. And last week was a really nice week because they kind of slid down, so I think that's why my estimate from last week to what we had today was indicative of that. So here's the result of all the bidders that bid on the bonds. There was 9, which is an excellent showing to get 9 bidders. In fact, I looked back at what the town had for their 2025 A bonds. They had 8, which is really good, but 9 bidders. And the winning bid, the lowest bid we base is on the true interest cost, was from Piper Sandler and Company at a 3.167,504. As you can see, they're all really pretty tight until the last 3, so very competitive sale. The bonds priced with a premium, which is typical in this environment, just meaning that they're priced with a premium, meaning they have additional bond proceeds, and we use that premium to reduce the issue size, so we ended up with a lower bond issue at $4,640,000. Part of a competitive bond issue is to get the bonds rated, and we did go through a process with S&P. They gave the town a rating of AA+. Many of the reasons that you get the bonds rated is for transparency for investors, so they know the credit quality of the town. And they provide a credit report, and I like to just kind of give a high-level report of what S&P said. So here, they provide credit highlights, and they go into a lot of depth here. But I just pulled out some of those, and these are some of the things they had to say in that report, that the rating reflects the township's stable economic profile and robust reserve levels relative to its state peers. Rating reflects economic stability, supported by high income metrics and its location in Ramsey County. They expect that the township will maintain balanced operations given the ability to raise property tax revenue as needed. Management practices include monthly budget to actual reporting. They have a formal investment, debt, and reserve policies, and moderate debt burden. Then they always provide a factor that could lead to upgrade and a downgrade, which I've noted here. A factor that could lead to an upgrade, and there is only one notch higher than what you already have, so it's exceptional what you have now. If the township's financial performance is sustained, improving nominal reserves, and a factors that could lead to a downgrade is if financial performances were to decline, leading to draws on reserve, or if the township issues significant additional debt. So with that, I would recommend approving the resolution, awarding the bonds, the $4,640,000 general obligation improvement and utility bonds, Series 2026A, to Piper Sandler and Company with their true interest rate cost of 3.1675. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Just to be clear, I know we have a couple different numbers in our packet.
Yeah.
But that was before we got the adjusted rate. So originally, I think it was another 45,000 higher than this. So we are definitely at 4,640,000.
4,640,000.
Okay, and
Yeah, the resolution says that, but I do see that your packet said
right,
4,625,000,
there's a couple
I
different
think.
numbers bouncing there.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Steve, questions, comments?
No, I think that's pretty clear. Do you remember what our rate was last year?
Yeah, I looked that up today. It was 3.1152.
3.11,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so not a big difference. The market is a lot more volatile this year with yeah, and so it's some of it's just timing. It's because a couple weeks ago I had a city that ended up with 3 bids, and they have so it was just a good time to be in the market today.
With a strong credit rating.
Excellent credit rating, a AA+. Absolutely helps bidders, investors like that.
Beth, questions, comments? Nope. Patrick, can you explain how this will affect our tax levy?
Well, in a roundabout sort of way, it'll probably lessen it, but the immediate impact won't be felt either up or down.
Because obviously we're bonding for a lot more than it looks like the projects are going to come in at. So that's an advantage to the whole township. There, you got any other questions or comments with us?
No, it looks like a really good bids for that.
We've done well in all components of bidding out these projects this year. The actual physical project and the management therein, and then the financial side have been really strong. We've beaten all estimates.
Yeah.
Good job, Patrick.
No, thank you, but it's Tom, and then it's also Larry getting the right bids for us based upon a strong our market that's looking for work. So anyway,
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
thanks, Chris.
All right, so I need a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the sale of $4,640,000 general obligation improvement and utility revenue bonds.
I'll second.
Motion's made and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carries. All right, item 9, we have no added agenda items. We'll go right to open time because we have a closed session where I'm going to have to ask the room to be emptied. This is open time, or if you have any questions or comments, you need to come up to the podium, state your name and address.
I'm Kathy Johnson, and I live at 5439 Province Lane in White Bear Township. And I just want to talk a little bit about 5470 Peterson. I think it sounds like you're all familiar with the house. I don't know if you've driven by it or not. If anyone's interested, I did bring several pictures along of the mess that's going on there. And my primary reason for coming today is to find out if there's anything that we as a community can do to make something happen there. I mean, I walk by it every day when I go for my short walk, and I have counted up to 10 different vehicles parked in their yard. There's 6 garbage bins along the side of their home. There's junk just junk strewn all over the place. And for a while, the burned out stuff was up against the house, but now there is a full dumpster that's in the yard, along with another pickup truck that is also full of junk. There's 2 shabby canvas tents, and I can't tell. I don't know what's in there, and I haven't walked on their property to find out, and I'm not planning on doing that. Um, they also now have a large trailer, a real long. I don't know if anyone is living there right now, or if it's being occupied, or if they're using that trailer as a residence. Um, and it looks to me like they're moving some of their burned out stuff that was inside of the house now to outside of the house. So that's why I'm here, and I guess I'm looking for suggestions. I have written to Mike Johnson and received a response from him. It makes me a little scared because I didn't wake up during this event. My neighbors couldn't believe it, but I could have been my house could have burned up and I would have been in it. So I really feel like something has to happen there. Does anyone have any comment or suggestions that I can take back to our board?
Well, I'll tell you where we are right now.
Okay.
From the time of the fire, which I don't remember the date, they had 90 days to do something. Now, they have started to clean up, but they have also applied for a permit to replace the building, which means a permit to tear it down. And I'm sure that's why they're trying to salvage anything they can out of the inside.
Okay.
That trailer was brought in just so they could someplace to stay when it was still a little bit cold and rainy, supposedly, because I believe they're still working on their cars. Mike Johnson's been there, and he's verified that anything that's not licensed and not tabs on the vehicle and operational has to be removed.
Okay.
But I'm sorry to say, but these folks have rights. So if they have operating equipment there, they can keep it there. I know it looks rough, and trust me, I drive by it every single day, sometimes twice a day. Now, I noticed the other day, again, all the plywood was down because they were throwing stuff out, and you literally could still smell the smoke. The place just reeks when they open up the side of the building. I'm not sure exactly where the permit process is sitting. Do you know, Patrick? They applied for the demo,
Yep.
and I don't know if it's been,
So Mike's on vacation, so I'm not sure where.
okay.
it is
But
exactly.
that's the latest. They are planning on tearing the building down and replacing it.
Okay.
The board, as late as last Friday, asked Mike for an update on that. That's why I think we're trying to stay on top of this as best we can. But as he said, they have some rights also, and there's insurance issues going with this property. We're not privy to that. That's between the property owner and the insurance company and what they're going to pay for or not pay for. But believe me, we want it cleaned up also because we don't need that in the town.
It's a blight on White Bear Township.
Mhm.
Not only that, we were concerned about safety too, because
Yes.
it was sitting vacant for this long, so.
Well, and it's not just cars, there's boat, there's motorcycle, there's trucks, and I think a lot of them haven't moved. I've lived there a couple of years now since I moved in here. I would be very surprised if they are licensed.
Yep.
And then the final comment I have is the tents that they have. I've read your rules and regulations, and I don't see that there's anything that can really stop them from having those tents, but they look terrible.
I'll bring that up to Mike when he gets back in the town, because I know he did talk to him about you cannot live in that trailer. It's not, it's against the ordinances to have a secondary unit like that and living in it.
And
So
I
they're
don't
very
know.
aware of that.
Yeah,
But not, the tents, I have no idea.
I know. Well, the tents, they just,
But it might take on a whole different look if indeed the demolition is going to happen, as Mike indicated very shortly, that they're getting
Okay.
prepped for that. He just has to get the permits.
and I do understand from my neighbors that this has been a long-term problem with that property. So,
It's been an issue for some time.
yeah.
But trust me, it's on our radar.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your listening and hearing me out.
Not a
because
problem. Thank you, Kathy.
Not pretty sight. Thank you.
All right, seeing no one else here. Open time is over. I'm going to have to ask that everyone has to depart because we're going to go into closed session with our attorney.
Thank you for coming. Good night, Larry. night, member of the press.
Just write down blah, 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 blah.
Doesn't hurt me.
No kids to sign.
See you there.
Yeah.
All right, I need a motion to go into closed session concerning the White Bear Lake fire contract dispute.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session to discuss the ongoing litigation with the White Bear Lake City over the fire contract.
I'll second.
Motion's made in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
litigation with the city of White Bear Lake over the fire contract.
Second.
Motion's made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Chad, would you like to give a synopsis of what?
I think the synopsis has already been given, that the purpose of the meeting was, the closed session was the purpose of the closed session, and what was discussed was the ongoing litigation regarding the White Bear Lake Fire Service contract, and what additional discovery steps the township should take regarding the ongoing litigation.
Okay, perfect. All right, item 11, I need a motion to receive agenda materials and supplements.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Need a motion to adjourn at 8:31.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Not waiting for you.
Sorry, Steve, you
Well, you
threw
usually
me.
do the first part, I do the second.
We're still in the air.